What's good YouTube, Ben here, welcome to the next video on the channel. In this one, I'm going to give you my next Steel Path Viber build on Warframe. This is going to be for Halikar Wraith. Let's get into this. Alright, so Barakatir had this recently, and I figured I've never used it, never even seen it before, so I'll pick it up, put a build on it, and let's see how it goes. So, as my builds usually go, but its unique trait is a 50% chance to disarm enemies when thrown. We're using Astral Twilight as the stance mod, so orbiting slashes and lashing strikes. We've got Prime Pressure Point for 165% melee damage. You can use normal Pressure Point, but you will have a bit of damage fall off. Galvanized Elementalist for 80% status damage and on melee kill, plus 30% status chance for 20 seconds stacks up to 4 times. Virulent Scourge for 60% toxin, 60% status chance. Vicious Frost for 60% cold and 60% status chance. We've got Galvanized Steel for 110% critical chance and ×2 for heavy attacks on melee kill, plus 30% critical damage for 20 seconds stacks up to 4 times. Volcanic Edge for 60% heat, 60% status chance. Jugular Barbs for 90% puncture and 60% status chance. And then Slam Attacks manifest tendrils that lash enemies within 3 meters, stunning them for 1 second and dealing 25 puncture damage. And Condition Overload for 80% melee damage per status type effect on the target. And in the Arcane slot, we've got rank 5 melee Doughty, which is gain 1 point times critical damage for every 10% puncture status chance on your melee weapon. So, we've got 39.9% innate critical chance, although that goes up with Galvanized Steel. We've also got 7.4 times critical damage, which goes up with Galvanized Steel. We've got 119% status, so this is a pure status / critical mix build with 906% puncture damage, which works with melee Doughty, boosting our critical damage, along with Viral to help cut through health and Heat to help melt armor, giving us a lot of critical and status damage. Now, I'm going to be using my Necros Prime build as the main Warframe for this, and as you can see, there are absolutely no Archon shards on, so we're not getting any artificial boosts as it pertains to the melee side. And if we go on Necros himself, he uses Corrosive Projection, so the enemies will lose 18% armor, but on Steel Path, that doesn't actually make that much of a difference, although if I quickly just swap my thingy to, let's go Energy Siphon, why not? There we go. So we'll change it to Energy Siphon so that there's no boost whatsoever. But let's jump into the mission. I'll show you what this thing can do. Alright, as per usual, we're here at Oxmoco in the Void. Now, quickly explain why we're here. So the Void is one of the latest game areas in the game on Steel Path, so you're dealing with high-level enemies. Not to mention here, you're dealing with the Corrupted, and with the Corrupted, you're dealing with enemies with just health, enemies with health and shields, and enemies with high armor, giving you a more varied example of what your weapon / Warframe can do. I also want to point out, whilst this is viable for the Steel Path, and I label it as such, it is viable. So, whilst it's probably going to get you through the Steel Path, it will probably not get you to level cap, which is level 9,999 enemies. But I digress, let's jump in. So as you can see, it already starts melting through pretty much everything as you start getting your damage up. And because of the critical chance that we're working with, you're pretty much constantly hitting crits. But you're also dealing high damage thanks to having a bunch of status on here too. And with 100% status, you will always land your statuses, so it's pretty decent. As for the Arcane, I did toy between either using melee Doughty or... Why am I not getting health? There we go. I was about to say, why am I not getting health pack? I'm using Gloom. I did toy between using melee Doughty and using... oh god, what's it called? The one where you do corrosive. For the life of me, I do not remember what it's called. But it gives you basic corrosive status to add on. I toyed with both, but I went with the extra critical damage because I felt like it would work better for the weapon. And from my testing, it did. But this, in my opinion, is a pretty unique weapon. Like, it's a glaive, and there are glaives in the game. But it's one that I don't see people talk about at all. And don't get me wrong, it is not the best glaive in the game at all. Like, as you can see, damage-wise, it does okay. Like, it hits alright. Like, you can use it on Steel Path if you've got it, which is nice. And because it's available from Barakatir, you know, when it comes around in rotation, you can just pick it up, which is nice. But as you can see, it does okay. Not the best weapon. But definitely not the worst that I've seen. Like, I have seen worse. But as per usual, I'll stay in the mission long enough to get to the Acolyte, just so you see what this can do to Acolytes. That's, of course, if I don't die in the process, because Necros is not the best Warframe to use against Acolytes, I grant you. I'm actually going to bring out Shadows of the Dead because it's going to keep me alive a bit easier as well. But of course, if you use this with a Warframe that either has melee boosts or one that does a lot more melee damage by using Steel Charge or something, you will do a lot more damage. So of course, the environment you're using will of course help dictate the amount of damage you're going to get. But this is showing you what it will do based upon just no outside factors. I guess other than using my Shadows of the Dead, but at the same time, they don't do enough damage to warrant it being a boost, if that makes sense. Like, they just don't. They're literally there to help shield me from a bit of damage, and that is it. I have never seen an enemy get under these stairs before. Can't hit him. Hello? Thank you. Oh, looks a bit better. Jeez. But, yeah, it does alright. Like I said, it's not the best weapon in the game. But at the minute, I'm kind of enjoying throwing builds on either unique weapons or weapons I don't really use. Don't know how my Gloom dropped, but alright. I think it's because I ran out of energy because I've not been getting... Oh, I don't have Despoil on. Desecrate on even. Whoops. That would probably help that out. I'm going to keep it in the video, to be fair. Screw it. But, yeah, like, it's one of those weapons that's oddly interesting. But as you can see, Melted and Eximus pretty freaking fast. Now, of course, its combos are different if you hold in, at least on control, if you hold in the left trigger. You'll start doing this really cool jump, which does a bit more damage than without, so I'd recommend using it pretty much as you can. Of course, taking out Ospreys can be a bit questionable, but we got it, so it's fine. Now, when it comes to damage fall off, you see some, but overall, again, not the worst experience in the world. Like, it takes out Eximus somewhat decently. But like I said, I will probably die against the Acolyte using Necros, because Necros is not known to be the tankiest frame in the world. Boom. Well, I've got to admit, I do not like taking out Ospreys when you've got a melee weapons. Some melee weapons is fine, like, others just aren't. Like, some are fine, others are just not. It really depends, although the Acolyte coming in pretty fast today. Right, I need to move quickly because I don't have Gloom active. My Desecrate has ended, which is not ideal. There we go. Kraken. But yeah, you kind of rip through, which is nice. Acolyte gone. Now, I will say this much there for anyone who comments. My clones helped cut through the shields, which we would have done anyway. But the health cut through was all Necros with this weapon. But yeah, other than that, let me know what you think about the weapon. If you want to see more like this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to turn on notifications. Don't forget to join me on my socials. Those are linked down below. Don't forget, I do live stream. When I go live here on YouTube and over on Twitch at the same time. My streams here on YouTube are in the shorts form feed, some more for mobile. If you want to catch the exact same streams at the exact same time in full 1080p, feel free to join me on Twitch. That link is in the description below.